The man felt his body burning up, so he stuck his head straight into the refrigerator and started licking the frost inside without a second thought. Only after licking every bit of frost clean did his frayed nerves finally start to calm down. But strangely, the next second, this man in his 50s started crying like a child, as if he'd suffered some terrible injustice. But he quickly pulled himself together. Staying strong was the only way to survive, because he'd been trapped in this 80th floor penthouse for 3 days and 3 nights. His real identity was actually a burglar. 3 days ago, Mike had broken into this wealthy mansion to steal a world-famous painting. The first thing he did after getting inside was work with his accomplice on the outside to hack the mansion's security system. However, what he never expected was that just as he was about to leave after stealing the goods, the security system suddenly malfunctioned. The alarm went off instantly. Even worse, all the doors automatically locked themselves. He tried to use his walkie-talkie to get his partner to figure something out, but the signal was somehow being blocked by an invisible force. Mike panicked instantly. As the alarm kept blaring, Mike quickly pried open the stereo system in the house and disconnected the speaker wires, finally getting some peace and quiet. But Mike didn't let his guard down because the most urgent thing now was to get out of here fast. Otherwise, even if he didn't starve to death, the owner would discover him soon enough. But the penthouse was on the 80th floor. Getting out was nearly impossible since the floor-to-ceiling windows were bulletproof glass with no way to escape. After careful observation, Mike discovered the mansion's front door was made of wood. If that was the case, couldn't he just carve through the wood bit by bit and get out? Mike grabbed his pocket knife and started frantically stabbing holes in the door. However, just as he was getting into it, the mansion's security system automatically switched to heating mode. The entire place started heating up rapidly, soon leaving Mike desperately thirsty. To rehydrate, he rushed to the kitchen looking for water. But what he never expected was that from the moment he triggered the alarm system, the mansion's water supply had been automatically shut off. Not a single drop would come out anywhere in the house. Although there was some dirty water in the toilet, Mike didn't dare drink it. That's when he noticed the fish tank in the mansion. He wanted to see if the water was drinkable, but discovered it was both salty and foul, making his throat feel even worse. With no other choice, Mike went back to the front door to continue carving. He was confident that with persistent effort, he could accomplish any impossible task, but after working with his knife for 3 hours, he suddenly fell into despair. The door had thick steel plates hidden inside. By now, he was so exhausted he was hungry too. He wanted to find something to eat in the refrigerator, but found only a few jars of expired caviar and some crackers. Although the crackers were moldy on the surface with nothing else to eat, he could only scrape off the mold bit by bit, then eat them with the expired caviar. But this tiny amount of food wasn't nearly enough, and to fill his stomach, he had no choice but to fish out the ornamental fish from the tank. Although they looked like they might taste decent, he nearly spit them out the moment they hit his mouth. With no other option, he had to drink some of his own urine just to swallow the fish meat. Mike never imagined that after a lifetime as a thief, he'd end up trapped in this mansion. Soon it was the second day. Exhausted from the night before, Mike slept until noon, only waking when a bird crashed into the balcony's protective netting. Looking at the bird, now barely alive from the high-voltage shock, Mike knew that if he didn't escape soon, he might end up just like that bird. To save his life, Mike quickly tried calling for help on his walkie-talkie, but it had absolutely no signal, and even the house phone was dead silent. At first,